Frédéric. So here we are in Burgundy, not too far away from Bonn. And we're at the little village of Mugnier. And we're here to meet with the winemaker Jacques-Frederic Mugnier at his chateau, Mugnier. And it's not too far away from the Clos, where the birthplace of the Burgundy style wines. Let's meet Frédéric and hear more about his philosophy when it comes to winemaking and the ideas behind one of the most after-sought wines in the world. So Frédéric, if you were to explain for somebody that's never ever tried your wines about the style of your wine, what would you say?
There's a wine critic that wrote it in a way that suits me very well. I like it very much. He said his signature is the absence of signature. He added in a Zen-like absence of signature with reference to an Asian culture. I accept the fact that there is a signature of the domain, but it should not be something technical. Wine is not a technical produce. It's a product of nature. It's a creation of nature. And my job is just to make visible a character that pre-exists in the fruit from one specific piece of land. Take a few steps backward, and so that nobody sees the winemaker in the wine. I try to maintain a very constant approach to winemaking in order to preserve the signature of the domain.
If you tell me the history of this winery.
Yes, it's a long family story. It's a 5-generation story. The domain, the vineyard, and this house were bought by my great-great-grandfather. Well, his business was not wine originally, but liquors, aperitif.
Why do you think he bought it? What was the idea?
Well, I see my family as vineyard owners. So they were people from the city, definitely. They were not farmers. I'm really the first one who wanted to go in the vineyard and try to understand how it works and what could be done there.
What was the reason that you took the step from being an engineer to go into the wine?
Well, I was busy working in the oil construction business, and I was aware of the fact that we had some very precious pieces of vineyard in hand. And my father had passed away a few years before, and the domain was not very carefully worked. And clearly a decision had to be taken. I had to learn, I had to make my experience, but I was young, and I was not afraid of doing things I had not been trained for. I had to learn new techniques, I had to create new relations with people. The idea of learning and trying new things. And okay, just wine and the vineyard was just another challenge.
What in wine was that interesting for you then? What was the trigger, you think?
There's something strange in the phenomenon, in the phenomenon of fermentation and the transformation of grapes into wine. And especially red wine, it's very visual, it's very sensual. What took a long time was to decide on what I wanted to do, what kind of wine, what style of wine I wanted to make, what I really liked, in fact. And it took me maybe 10 years before I had a more or less clear idea of what I wanted. enhance some of the best vineyards. Well, the domain is quite simple. It extends over 2 communes, Chambolle-Musigny and Nuits-Saint-Georges. Nuits-Saint-Georges is one big plot from which I make one wine, Claude de la Maréchale. Well, actually 2 wines because there's a small plot of white grapes. And in Chambolle-Musigny I make 5 wines from 5 different small plots. I strongly believe in terroir. Terroir will show, and there's no need to make the wines differently because they come from a different plot. And this has become a rule. All my wines are made strictly the same way. There is absolutely no difference in the process. Whether it's Chambolle or Nuits-Saint-Georges, whether it's Village or Grand Cru, the wines are made exactly the same way. I don't want to interfere with the expression of terroir. I'm not the creator of the wines, the style of the wines. The style will come from the origin of the grapes. I'm absolutely fascinated by the magic of terroir. It does exist. It's totally mysterious. I don't understand anything. What's the reason why this plot produces different grapes from this plot? But it's obvious. It's certain. There's no doubt about it. The grapes will be different, and it's not. The difference is not in the work of the vineyard. It's not even in the vines that are planted there. It's really the place.
So Frédéric, if you were to give an advice to a young person that wants to be a winemaker, what would you say?
I would say do what you like. Walk your own path. Experiment yourself. Don't trust what you say or what you read in the books.